Welcome back. Now, early this morning, Ed made crusted best end of lamb, and if you're looking for the perfect pudding to round off the meal, how about this one from JC? So, JC, spill the beans. That's an English phrase. Means get with it. No, it probably doesn't actually. No, but it means tell us more.
Well, basically, it's an apple tatin, which is an apple tart tatin, which is going to be baked and caramelized with some star anise, vanilla. Now, the first important thing is making the caramel. I'm going to use some butter, some sugar, and then the spice, star anise and vanilla. I need a pan.
Need an apple?
It's a very straightforward recipe. Perfect, easy to make. You can make it in advance. Now, I'm putting the butter, unsalted butter, very important. Okay. Then I'm going to put the sugar.
Yes.
Very similar as making caramel with water. The differences of the butter, which is very unusual, is giving the glossy, that lovely, shiny, you know.
Glossy finish.
Toffee, like toffee. That's right. Now I'm going to put that on. In the meantime, we're going to peel the apples.
Here you go.
Thank you. Now, I'm sure you're going to ask me that question. Why do I use Granny Smith? They are eating apples because I love the sharpness of Granny Smith.
Okay.
This will mix very well with the sugar, and also I believe that this apple keep the body in shape during the cooking process.
Keep your body? Or?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Now, you're using a knife.
I'm using a knife.
I'm using a peeler.
Fair enough.
Whatever you do, or whatever I do, it's very important that you peel your fruits at the last minute. Okay. Okay? Now, what really surprised me is the fact that people tend to peel fruits in advance and keep them in the water with lemon. And this, I think, is
they go a bit soggy, especially pears, don't they? Yeah.
Now you can see clearly this apple releases that beautiful juice on the side, and this is what gives extra flavors to the recipe.
Okay.
Now you've got a small.
I've got a small knife.
Okay, a small knife. Now I'm going to show you a tip, Anthony.
Yes.
Sometimes when you make caramel, it tends to crystallize, basically splitting, due to the fact that there is a lot of bacteria in the air.
Right.
And sometimes it crystallizes and become very, very that pale color. I'm going to show you a tip. If you want to avoid that and bring your caramel to liquid, use a little bit of vinegar.
Right.
Just a touch, nothing more. It's not going to affect the taste. It's just purely. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, another tip I'm going to give you. If your caramel turn in a different color and basically start burning, you can leave the bottom of the pan into ice water or cold water, just to control the temperature. Now, what I want to do is to introduce the spice, very important. The spice will start to become, to extract more flavors with the heat.
Right.
Okay, now I'm going to open the vanilla, beautiful vanilla, nice and soft, full of seeds, ready to explode. I'm going to open that in two.
I'll just clear this rubbish away.
Now, if you don't like vanilla, if you don't like star anise, you can use, obviously, the normal cinnamon, licorice, and so on. Okay, I'm going to put it back on the ring. Now, what I want to do is, let me put this back over there. I'm going to use a pan. I'm going to use this parchment paper for a specific reason. First, I'm going to break it down to make sure this will absorb the liquid. Like this, like so, okay? Very simple. Now you're going to tell me why do you use some paper under the...
Well, why, yeah.
I'm sure you know why, because...
I know why, but I'm just wondering why.
Okay, I'm going to come back to this point. Now, it's time to introduce the lovely, juicy apples into the caramel. Now imagine the juice of the apple is going to start mixing and perfectly. Now, another tip, what you should not do is to add the puff pastry when this is hot. Therefore, you leave that, absolutely not. Leave that on the side.
Does the pastry go soggy or what?
Well, the thing is, puff pastry, what is puff pastry? It's basically flour and butter. Yeah. If that is made with something hot, the butter is going to start to soften, and you can't get the shape on the puff pastry.
Okay.
Therefore, I've got some here, and I've managed to make one in advance, which I cool off in the fridge, and you can see clearly, we end up with this. Therefore, let me move everything about. Perfect. Now, the most important thing now, when you make an apple tatin, is to make sure that you surround the puff pastry very tight into your fruit. So now we're using apples. You can use banana, pear, prunes, strawberries, pineapple, anything which more likely...
onions as well, actually.
Onions, yeah. Well, now, the secret of making the perfect puff pastry the perfect tatin is to make sure the edges of the pie pastry is touching the caramel. Can you see that? And if you do so, you can have some beautiful caramelized, crunchy edges.
Pastry on the edge.
That's right.
That's a good idea. I mean, it's quite a lengthy process, but I mean, if you want to make it properly...
It's worth it. You're talking 4 or 5 portions. Yeah. You can make it in advance. You can actually stick that back in oven, sorry, in a fridge, and maybe later, the next day, you can...
Yeah, put it in the oven.
In oven. You can even freeze it. Now, this goes in oven for 2 different stages. The first one is a very hot oven, 220 degrees for 10 minutes. Therefore, we gain some colors and some crispiness from the pie pastry. No, crispiness.
Crispiness.
Okay. And then, after that, you turn the oven down to 180 degrees, and what happens is you are cooking the apples with time. Okay. And this is what you want. You don't want to overpressure. Now, look at this. Look at this. The caramel has managed to color very well. The seeds are mixing correctly with the spice, the caramel, and so on. Now, the famous the famous parchment paper has one reason, is this one. If you don't want to burn yourself, that's what you have to do. Can you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's safe.
Oh, look at that.
Absolutely.
Dark
now, I'm going to stick some caramel on the top. I'm going to put some icing sugar. Now, in France, what we tend to do is to put a little bit of Calvados, or some cognac, some whiskey, or whatever. Now, you can acknowledge very quickly, which is very important before I put the ice cream, is the edges which has been touching the caramel. Look at that, it's fantastic. The apples are nice and confit.
Oh, look at that, it's real toffee.
And the caramel is nice and it has that beautiful spice flavor. Now, I'm going to give you some ice cream.
Yes.
I've choose some caramel ice cream. I think it's a perfect combination, once again. There we are.
Oh, I thought that was melted ice cream. I need my glasses on it.
I need to use my finger, I'm sorry for that. There we are. Now the caramel. There we are, look at this. Perfect. I imagine for the family, on Sunday especially. And once again, as I said, you can make it in advance, put it back in oven at the last minute, and that's it.
Voila. As they say, a perfect tart from Jean-Christophe.
Perfect tart.